This is Sam from Uniondale, and you're tuning into another edition of the Samianalyze show. Folks, the Boston Celtics did not do what I thought they would. What happened? Let's analyze. Folks, teams that have gone 3-0, 3-0 are basically perfect. 151-0. And going into Monday or Game 7, I said I felt that we were going to see history. Now, it's not because I had a horse in the race. It's not because I'm a big Boston Celtic fan. No. I just said, you know what? If you look at what the Celtics have, you've got a first-team All-NBA player in Jason Tatum, a second All-NBA player in Jaylen Brown, and quote-unquote Malcolm Brogdon, the sixth man of the year. You're supposed to beat Miami, right? Well, you look, and how did that work out for Giannis and the Bucks? Didn't work out too well. Knicks, a turnover away with Jalen Brunson possibly forcing a Game 7. Didn't work out. And now, the Celtics. This is, I thought that the Celtics, look, listen, I think everybody to this point has egg on their face when it comes to the Heat. I think that's fair. I think a lot of people, they're like, wait, Miami again? And I'll tell you this: when we talk about the game on Thursday, I think the only people who probably picked the Heat are Miami fans, possibly. But I would say don't do it. Be careful. I think Miami is proving to people don't sleep on them. But if you ask me what went wrong, a few things went wrong. I think the first thing that went wrong with Miami is against Miami is that zone. That zone is real. See, you saw it against the Bucks. You saw it against the Knicks. You saw it against the Celtics, especially in the second half of Game 6, and then you saw it yesterday in Game 7. You saw it, and the reason why the zone works is can't hit your jumpers. And they say to beat the zone, you need ball movement and you need to hit the shots. Now, I look at it, people would say Joe Mazzulla got out coached. Well, then that would be everybody that's played Eric Spoelstra and the Heat, right? Pretty much. And I think it's time to give the Heat their credit. They've got 7 undrafted players in the rotation, right? And you just have to give them their credit. And I think, to me, Mazzulla, unfortunately, look, he let them get down 3-0, and it's always going to go on the coach. That's one. 2, I think that Jason Tatum sprained ankle was huge. I think the Jason Tatum injury was huge. Now, he had 15 points. And he had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and he was a -12. That's not good for your first team All-NBA player. Not good at all. But then he's got a Robin to his Batman in Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, 19 points, 8 rebounds, but he was not good. He was not good. And he ended up with a -17. Now, Jaylen Brown, I blame him a lot for yesterday because you're supposed to be a superstar or a star, to Jason Tatum. And when he gets hurt, this is your time to shine. This is your time to take over. And he didn't. He had 8 turnovers. And when I look at this team, they do have a Malcolm Brogdon, who's the 6th man of the year. And he didn't do anything. 0 points. He was a negative 15. We all know he's hurt. And then obviously, when you listen, when you look at this team, okay, Smart had 9 points. He was a negative 10. Now, when you look at this Celtics team, I'll tell you, to me, one of their major issues and why they have not been able to get over the hump, to me, and I saw it since the finals last year, they need a point guard. They really do. They miss. I mean, Kemba obviously is out the league, but they had Kyrie for a half an hour, and if they had the money, I think they would really benefit from Kyrie. Really. And this is saying a lot, but I think he's a headache. But they would benefit from having a ball handler so that what happened with Brown yesterday would not happen. 8 turnovers, that was horrible. Now, where do the Celtics go from here? Do they break up the Brown and Tatum tandem? I'll tell you what, it may happen. And I saw an interesting stat, and I knew this already. I mean, look, listen, we know that Jason Tatum is a first-team All-NBA player, and Brown is a second-team All-NBA player. Here's the deal, though, folks. This summer, everything goes out the window. Everything goes out the window because teams now, the way they were used to doing business, giving these players the supermaxes and things like that, that's all going out the window. You've got a Jaylen Brown who can sign a supermax $295 million this summer, and he can sign that extension. And then Jason Tatum can sign for $318 million next July because he made the first team All-NBA. I think that is cause for concern. And I think if you sign players like this and you can go over the cap, which teams can do, I think what it does is it handicaps or pigeonholes teams from being able to make other moves, right? How are you going to sign? Who else are you going to bring to the table? Look what else happened. Bob Myers steps down from the Warriors as president of basketball operations. See, you're watching things happen right now because the NBA, listen, the NBA is going to change from the business as usual, just sign people, just go over the cap to keep your superstars. It's about to be a different world. It's about to be a different world. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if they can keep both of those players and still field a good team. That's going to be very interesting. But look, listen, again, the Tatum injury was huge. And I get it. You got blown out on your court. But I think it set the tone. I think watching Tatum get hurt on that first play set the tone. And obviously, I mean, the MVP of the series for Miami was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets had 28 points. He was a plus 11, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. He was all over the place. But I think guys like Caleb Martin, man, 26 points. Caleb Martin, Vincent. I mean, these guys, all these undrafted guys are unheralded heroes for this team. And I think, look, listen, nobody's going to give Miami a chance against the Denver Nuggets. Am I going to give them a chance? We'll talk about it. We've still got some time before it kicks off on Thursday. But the Celtics have a lot to think about, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Do they keep those two guys? Do they split them up? It's going to be very interesting to see. But we'll see what happens. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Continues to support. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm not on TikTok yet, but it's at Samianalyze. Thank you for tuning in. Follow, subscribe, and as always, a tout à l'heure.